Hi, welcome to Inside Charlie's Shell. I'm your host, Charlie. Today I have a special guest. I have Martin with me.
How you doing, Charlie?
Doing well. Welcome to the show.
Good to
Marty.
be here, mate. Good to be here.
Oh,
Talk to me. What's up?
I had a couple of questions for you, actually.
Yeah, what up?
I hear you're a well-known vocal actor.
Yeah.
What made you get into voice work to start with?
It was something that was always a part of me, I guess. Like, it all started when I was 8 years old. I was that kid, the center of attention. You know, I mean, I come from a family of like actors as well as singers as well. Like, my dad used to be in a band himself back in the day in Egypt.
Oh, wow.
And he was featured in about 6 or 7 Egyptian films. Like, you ever see a movie where like there's like an occasion going on, there's like a function going on, and there's a band in the background?
Yep.
He would be the band in the background.
Oh, wow.
Right? So he's been doing that for maybe like 10-ish years. I'm not really sure, I don't remember. But it sort of, I mean, look, our family was always like in the arts area, was sort of, I guess, it sort of just came natural to me. And then, as I said, like, because I was the type of the entertainer sort of side of it, you know, doing silly things, trying to get attention. You know, that whole adorable thing that kids do, you know?
Yep.
And, you know, when we used to have, I don't know if you remember when we used to have Simpsons at 6 o'clock after the news on Channel 10.
I used to watch it all the time.
They would drain it from season 1 to the current, and then they'd start all over again. So I think, I mean, the Simpsons sort of really helped me kind of like start off with the voices and stuff like that. I used to do the voice of Barney when he was drunk. I still can do the voice of Mr. Burns and Smithers. But then, as time went by, you know, when obviously as I got older and, you know, puberty hit me like a truck, you know, when my voice cracked, it was kind of hard to sort of struggle to do those voices because, you know, your voice is more deeper and you're trying to raise it, and it just you know,
doesn't
like,
work well.
I just didn't learn how to actually control the vocals at the time. So, you know, so that's when I kind of stopped for a little bit. And then when Family Guy came into my life, I started, you know, getting into the show and stuff like that, and, you know, listening to the voices. And, you know, I've noticed that when it comes to my voices, I was always just be listening. I would always be listening to the different tones of voices, even when it comes to accents, and, you know, if their voices are high or not. It's the tone of the voices, like, you know, up and down. And I don't know, it was just natural talent that I had, what I like to call the mimic effect. Okay. And I would just copy. My body has this thing where if I listen to it, if I keep listening, it'll just register. And then if it comes out on its own, it goes on point. And then if my body doesn't respond to its particular voice, it doesn't come out because it knows that, you know, you can't do it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, but then again, to be fair, like there are some voices that I didn't think I was able to do, but then it just took off very well. And, you know, there were some voices. Herbert was a very perfect example because he was supposed to sound like a girl or whatever it is he's trying to sound like.
Yeah.
You know, and as well as doing the whistle thing. Yeah. As he was talking. And I was able to nail that because I struggled as a kid to whistle as it is. That was my backup, going like that as a backup to pretend to whistle.
Yeah.
But then that was it played a really good role later on. Obviously, when Herbert's voice came along, I was able to smash that out, and, you know, it just shocked everybody. But then, you know, but then it made me realize that, you know, this is something I was meant to do.
Okay.
I was meant to do. Like, it was something that, you know, I felt comfortable in front of a camera. You know, I was always this, like, trying to act like the center of attention as it is, you know, and then I thought, well, this could be a really good career for me, you know, like something, you know, but I can't just be like, yeah, I can do it. And then if I go in front of a stage, then I'll just make an idiot of myself, which it is going to happen eventually, but, you know, I'd rather prepare myself prior, you know, like, I mean, in terms of practicing and stuff like that, I like in terms of practicing, like I would always be listening. TV would be on, or even if I'm like on the train or something like that, I would just be listening to different types of voices, and
So there's a lot of passion there for it, obviously.
Yeah, like it just turned into something. It just turned into a passion after all of that. Yeah. And then I started, and then obviously watching cartoons and stuff like that. Growing up, you love the characters.
Yeah.
But then later on, as you get older, it's like you love the voice actors behind them. Remember, it's the voice. It's the voice at the end of the day. Like take for example Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Dan Green, wow, like the way he does Yugi, normal Yugi and Yami Yugi, or Atem is what his real name is. Like the difference there, you'd have like the innocent sort of boyish sort of voice he was able to nail, but that's his natural voice. But he sort of like raised it a little bit. Yeah. But then when it came to Yami Yugi or Atem, it would just be a straight out powerful, kind of like demanding voice, and somehow it was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like it was just, wow.
So to do something like that would take a lot of training, or that would come naturally?
I think it just depends. Depending on the voice of what, character you're meant to do. Yeah. I mean, there are some voices that you do kind of practice with. Yeah. But with me, like I think it's just my mentality. If I can do it, I can do it. If I can't do it, then I can't do it. It's either a yes or a no, black or a white. There's no grey area.
So there's no in between. You either know you can do it.
You're good at it or you can't do it. That it is.
Do you ever train to do a voice that in the end you can't do, or you just think, nah, I won't be able to do that voice?
Like I would take a shot at it. Yeah. I would take a shot at it. Like I would take a shot at a particular voices, but then if I would go halfway, but then it's just like nah, because I think maybe I've kind of really made it strict on myself where it has to be perfect from the beginning to the end. Yeah. You don't just, it has to be like there to there, like there, already there. Not leading up to there, it has to be already there. It has to be straight up. Like it's as I said, it's very strange. Like I can't really pick at it myself. I'm still figuring it out. All I know is that when it comes to particular voices, I'm able to nail it. Some ones I don't.
So you find it's still a learning curve for you regardless?
Still a learning curve, yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you have your own made-up voice or a unique voice that no one else would do that you can give
No, not yet. I'll have to keep that a surprise, to be honest. Keep that a surprise.
Oh, well, thanks very much for your time, Martin. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
No worries, Charlie. Thanks,
and we'll be back next week on Inside Charlie's Shell. Thank you for your time.
Nervous again?
Not as much now. I'm just